how many different types of EB5 investment structures available in this market now? And can you provide a brief overview of their characteristics or strengths or weakness, such?
Well, in terms of the structures, I think you mean like where it would go in the capital stack, like
how they, how they invest, or like equity, debt. But this you already covered.
Right.
But also maybe could be the forms, because some do. Nowadays, like energy or like manufacturing, but you are doing real estate. But even in real estate, there'll be like resorts, hotels, or student housing, like you mentioned. But they also like houses, just selling houses. Developing, selling houses, like all these.
The key, so we talked already about capital, where you want to be in the capital stack, and of course I don't want to beat a dead horse, but we like to invest as equity. And then the question is, in terms of the investment types, as I mentioned, we like multifamily, we like student housing, and more recently, again, hospitality. There's money going into energy. There's from time to time, there's infrastructure. Yeah. There have been some single-family home developments, and I think the key is ability to achieve an exit. I mean, you don't want the tail wagging the dog. You don't want EB5 going in because that's the only way you could get money into this asset category. You want market-driven products. When we sell a product, we're selling to an institutional buyer. So I think each investment has to stand on its own 2 feet. But I think my caution to EB5 investors would be, as you evaluate, just make sure it's something that is marketable in the United States. Like you see some of these projects, I won't name them by name, but you look at that and you're like, well, how do you sell that? How do you get an exit? It's like EB5 was the only way to get money in there because I'm sure they'll meet the job creation requirement. I don't want to go into too much detail, but you just want to make sure that it's a market-driven product that you can exit.
But I think for the most of our investors in China, they have problem identified because they are not institutional investors. These kind of investments very rare for them in China. In China they like to buy stocks, for example, right, or investing in these mutual funds. They invest in stocks, but this kind of form is really, really new for them. Yeah, they probably don't have the ability to tell the differences or to identify, these gonna sell in America or not. They have no idea.
Right. Well, that's why you come to people like us.
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah. And I've talked about that on this trip as well. I've got an MBA in finance and investments. I'm a CFA, and I've been investing in the U.S. For almost 40 years now, and I couldn't begin to make an investment in China. I don't know the players. I don't know the metrics. I don't know the industry standards. I don't know the laws. Yeah. And so for Chinese investors or for agents, I don't know how you make that decision. I think it's very difficult. I cite the example of you might pick the right Marriott hotel, the first time, but then it had room for 30 investors, and now you got to go make an investment decision again. And it's harder for agents probably than investors because the agents are the ones that have to make that decision. And it's just the law of averages. At some point in time, you're going to make a mistake. And all we have in this industry is our reputation. So that's very difficult. I would argue that for us, if you invest with us, we're like an evergreen. You only have to underwrite us once. Okay. Because the multifamily that we're doing now with JWP, the second asset is going to be a multifamily, and it's going to look just like the first one in terms of the way we structure and approach the deals. And then the third asset in the fund may be a student housing deal, but we make the sausage the same way every time. And then once we finish that third asset, then we're going to open up fund number 14, and it's going to be the same. We finish that, it's fund number 15. So it's the same. We do the same thing again and again and again. So you really only have to underwrite us one time, which I think from an agent's perspective takes a lot of risk out of the equation.
Yeah.